Welcome back, everyone, into, of course, Hall of Trivia on HQ, our sports and fantasy-themed trivia show sponsored by the Hall of Fantasy League, there it is, and the Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment Company. That's right. I am Jeff Eisenband. I will be your host tonight. If you missed last week, then you should know we're back. We're doing Hall of Trivia again, Season 2. This is Episode 2 of Season 2. We have all sorts of new games and prizes. Last week, we went March Madness, but we're changing it up this week. We are going general sports and fantasy themes. Little old school HQ sports for you all, Hall of Trivia out here. But first, let's head to the start sit. Fantasy Pick'em Pool brought to you by the Hall of Fantasy League. Each week, we will give you 2 or more players from a specific sport. That could change each week, all right? Last week, it was Aaron Henry who had the most points from Michigan State, knocked off Johnny Juzang. Juzang and UCLA won the game, but Aaron Henry actually had more fantasy points. That's how it works. Each week, you pick the player who will have the most fantasy points, and that would get you a win. If you get the most wins by the end of the contest, you and whoever is left will split a grand prize that is still to be determined. But remember, we gave away a full $10,000 to one person during football season. That was KP Dowd. Shout out KP Dowd, you're still going at this. This week we are sticking with March Madness, and we are going to a Cinderella matchup, Loyola versus Oregon State. And our players are Cameron Krutwig from Loyola and Ethan Thompson from Oregon State. What a matchup. What a matchup of teams that you wouldn't have thought would be here. But they are. And that poll tips off right now. Who you got? Cameron Krutwig, the big dog from Loyola, or Ethan Thompson, the scorer from out west, Oregon State. The Beavers and the Ramblers. What is a Rambler? Probably look that up. They might be in the going to the Final Four for the third time. And yeah, that's right, Krutwig. You guys are going with the big guy who has stolen hearts. He stole Illinois' title votes last week, 60. Cameron Krutwig. By the way, the Hall of Fantasy League, they sponsor our Starts at Fantasy Pick'em Pool every week. We've been talking about it. Massive news coming for you next week. I mean, massive. That you will not believe your mind. And guess what? You will have a way to get involved. So stay tuned next week, next Tuesday. Big news from the Hall of Fantasy League. I want to give a quick shout out to our March Madness bracket pool. So many of you, almost 200 people, I believe, in that pool. And 2016 Koala or AOTEM7, not sure what you want to be called, not sure what your HQ username is, but that's what it is in the pool. You're leading the way, so congrats so far. They had 6 of the 8 Elite 8 teams correct, and Gonzaga, who they have going all the way, is still right in there. And now it is time, folks. It is time to do that trivia. Let's do that trivia. I'm going to ask you 12 questions about sports and fantasy. If you get all questions right, you and whoever is left, you will split a prize pot of $2,500. 25 00 00. All right? See some people filing in. We got to get after this trivia, all right? Let's get to it. Q1 coming at you because the shoot around is over and the ball is being tipped. Q1, what is the shape of a regulation UFC cage? Is it an octagon, a square, or a hexagon? I did not know I was going to geometry class today, but here we are. There is nowhere to run in a UFC cage, but you can find more edges than a boxing ring because a UFC cage is an octagon. And I expect, I don't know, somewhere around, and look at that, 8,027. So right in that 8 range, we have knocking him down with the octagon. I feel like, I wouldn't even notice the edges, the sides, if I was in a UFC cage getting knocked around like that. Q2. Who holds the UConn women's basketball record for most points in an NCAA tournament debut? Is it Diana Taurasi, Brianna Stewart, or Paige Beckers? Taurasi, Stewart, or Beckers? UConn has had its fair share of freshman legends and one added to the history books just this past week. Freshman Paige Beckers put up 24 points in UConn's first round win over High Point. Beckers is your answer, and with a name like Paige Buckets, she should be scoring 6,882 of you scoring Survive and Advance. That's what Hall of Trivia is. That's what the NCAA tournament is for you UConn fans out there. She's destined for greatness. Are you destined to get Q3 correct? Which stat is considered one of the traditional baseball Triple Crown categories for batters? Steals, RBI, or runs? Talking baseball now. We're going all sorts of sports off the rails, folks. Miguel Cabrera was the last man to do this. He took the whole Triple Crown, and by the time he got to Detroit, he wasn't stealing any bases. So you should know it's about hitting for power. The Triple Crown is made up of batting average, home runs, and RBI. And I always wonder if I should say RBI or RBIs. It's not runs batted in. Zzz. 7,215 of you knocked in a run right there and rounded the bases to Q4. Ooh, I might have pulled a leg yell. Pulled a muscle yell on that. Q4. Which tight end did the Patriots not sign this offseason? Kyler Rudolph, Jonnu Smith, or Hunter Henry? Rudolph, Smith, or Henry? Three, listen. These are reliable tight ends out there for you. And Bill Belichick finally let loose and went on a shopping spree this month. He had his big eyes for tight ends, and he snatched up Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry, but the veteran Kyle Rudolph actually went to the New York Football Giants. Of course, Belichick was the defensive coach for once upon a time. 7,069 of you. Yeah, you knocked that one dead. Someone is clearly missing Gronk, right? This is separation anxiety for Bill Belichick from Rob Gronkowski. He saw him win another title with the Bucs. He had to get his tight ends. Q5. What school was the last with 2 consecutive Heisman Trophy winners? Oklahoma, Alabama, or USC? We're rounding out a bunch of sports here. We're jumping around. We're going college football now. And when I saw this question, my first thought was maybe Alabama. They've had a lot of running backs who won recently. But even more recently, Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray went back-to-back, and they played at Oklahoma. So 6,812 of you. Moving on. They also, by the way, both of them went first overall, and they both were transfers. And Jalen Hurts tried to be the third in that order, but didn't quite get there. 6,812 of you have gotten to Q6. Who is currently leading the NBA in fantasy points per game? LeBron James, James Harden, or Nikola Jokic? 3 guys. 2 have MVPs already, if I'm not mistaken. 1 has a title. LeBron is making a case for another MVP award before his recent injury, and Harden might be leading in fantasy points if he hadn't played, how do we say this, loosely in Houston earlier this year. It's Nikola Jokic who has one of the most diverse bags in the NBA, and he has 57.0 fantasy points per game right now. That's leading the way. Giannis is second, 6,079 of you. Nice job. That one, I expected that one to be a little tougher per game, but you guys know your stuff. And we are halfway through this one. So let's take a quick break. It's time for the halftime tweet and treat. And you might remember I asked you on Twitter, what is your favorite March Madness moment of all time? We had some awesome responses, but we got a couple of great ones that I'd like to share with you right now. And they are, what do we got? Do we got them? That's the question. I know there were a lot of people shouting out Chris Webber and his technical foul, but I didn't want to share those. I wanted to share Dat Papa Shots, who said, mine will always be NC State and Jim Valvano beating the Phi Slamma Jamma Houston Cougars on a last-second airball 3 by Derek Wittenberg that was dunked by Lorenzo Charles. And he talks about the footage from Jim Valvano. What a moment, Jimmy V coming out after NC State won that title. And then we got this other one that was from, I believe it was Christian Shute, who said Kenny Sailors and the Wyoming Cowboys winning the championship in 1943, then the next day beating NIT winner St. John's and NYC. That's a true story, Christian. I didn't even know it. I looked it up. They kind of had an exhibition game, I guess, between the 2 winners of the tournaments. Interesting history lesson. Let's learn some more with Q7. Chloe Kim is the youngest woman ever to win gold in what Olympic event? Half pipe, ski jump, or figure skating? We're talking about Chloe Kim. And I'll tell you as time expires that it was in the 2018 Olympics in Pyeongchang. At 17, Chloe Kim landed 2 1080 spins in a row, smoking the competition in the halfpipe, one of the 5 Olympic snowboard events. How did you guys do with that one? 6,349 of you got that one right. Remember, she was sending tweets from the top of the mountain. She should be ready to go for gold again in 2022. Good luck to Chloe. We'll see her. She'll be 21. Q8. Who was the only player besides Wayne Gretzky to win the Hart Trophy for the NHL's MVP award in the 1980s? Mark Messier, Patrick Roy, or Mario Lemieux? I know some people go, Roy! Roy! Well, Gretzky won all 9 of his MVP awards in the 1980s, but the great one took a quick break in 1987 to 88 when Super Mario Lemieux had his own great season to get that Hart Trophy. 3,870. A lot of you thought it was that teammate, Mark Messier. Gretzky missed some time that season with an injury. He still managed to win the Stanley Cup and the Conn Smythe Trophy for playoff MVP. So it wasn't a bad year for Gretzky. Wow, we got a lot out there. That might be a little extra. That might be a little extra life action for some of you. Q9 coming at you. At the World Cup, the golden ball is given to what player? The top player, the top scorer, or the top goalkeeper? It's the top something. Someone did really well if they got gold. The top scorer gets the golden boot, and the best keeper gets the golden gloves. But the golden ball is given to the player voted best overall by the media. Basically the MVP of the World Cup, and 4,772 of you. Yeah, we see some people did use that extra life. They got that one right. Luka Modric was the last men's winner, and Megan Rapinoe was the last women's winner as the U.S. woman won that title. Q10. Who is the only player to win NBA MVP, Finals MVP, and Defensive Player of the Year in the same season? Hakeem Olajuwon, Michael Jordan, or Kobe Bryant? 3 incredible NBA legends. And don't get me wrong, Hakeem Olajuwon had a storied NBA career, but he definitely took advantage of Michael Jordan's baseball sabbatical. During the 1993-94 season, when MJ was out, Hakeem Olajuwon won all 3 of those aforementioned trophies. He's your answer, 4,567 to you. He also added another Finals MVP in 1995, and wow, people, no one was fooled with Kobe. He did not ever was on a bunch of all NBA defensive teams, but did not ever win Defensive Player of the Year. Michael Jordan did, never in the same season. Q11, folks, we're almost there. Which of these NFL players has the record for most forced fumbles all time? Jason Taylor, Dwight Freeney, or Robert Mathis? I'm going to try to force a fumble as I was trying to get that out of my mouth. Freeney and Mathis were teammates for most of their career, which is scary to think about. But when they go to the Colts Super Bowl reunion party every year, Mathis is the guy who can gloat because his 54 forced fumbles are 7 ahead of Freeney's 47. And did we force a fumble on this one? That's what I want to know. By the way, guys, Julius Peppers is second at 52. And wow, people knew Robert Mathis. That's, I guess, maybe you could argue what he's known for. 4,399. We had a lot of people at the beginning. I thought we were going to have low numbers, but you guys have battled back, and it is now time for the final question. That's Q12 today. It's not the Sweet 16. It's the tumultuous 12 coming at you. Our final question, past the Final Four, championship, Q12. The father of which of these players hit the greatest number of career home runs? Was it Ken Griffey Jr., Barry Bonds, or Fernando Tatis Jr.? The father of these players hit the most home runs. All right, I love this question. Shout out to our guy Kevin for writing this one. Fernando Tatis Sr. had an all-time great inning when he hit 2 grand slams, but he only had 113 career bombs. And Ken Griffey Sr. was known as a great contact hitter who only hit 152 home runs. Bobby Bonds could swing the big stick, bashing 332 long balls in his career. That is the right answer. Barry Bonds, his dad Bobby, 2,742 of you got that one, and you are our winners. That's my first home run here on Hall of Trivia. Let's see what we got. I got people laughing here. That's the first. I've swung and missed at a lot of pitches, but I got that one, and 2,742 of you nailed that. Hit that meatball out of the park. Let's see who we got. We got Emily Sherm. We got JHKL. How about DDR 156 getting it done? Wilson 6789. You guys are too smart. Jopfra, nice job. Luca Monet. Caitlin, it looks like almost Eisenband or N eyes there. Rackley, Marlene W, Jones, Big 6, Kevin Dahl. Enjoy that 91 cents. Nako 33, how about that? Nice job. Jackson 646, one lucky, it's a 4-leaf clother. It's something lucky. Listen, congrats to all of our winners. You are not like Ohio State losing early. You are like the Pac-12, overcoming incredible obstacles to prove everyone wrong. Conference of Champions, how about Hall of Trivia of Champions? By the way, we play Hall of Trivia every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time now, and we have a ton of great sports games coming. All right? We have a ton of different games, different things that we're mixing around to show you. And for more news and information on the Hall of Trivia, you can always follow us at HQ Sports and at the HOF League. As always, a special thanks to our sponsors, the Hall of Fame Village and the Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment Company. I have been your host, Jeff Eisenband. Remember, big Hall of Trivia, big Hall of Fantasy League news coming next week. Until next time, have the best fantasy version of your week. Score some buckets, hit some home runs, score some goals, whatever else. Get some aces, hole-in-ones, everything, but just don't get vultured, all right? I'll see you soon.